no wheels, no champ, unless I say so.
That's where Evan is. I'm here at the Bare Knuckle Beach House. See the anchor behind me, Evan? Doesn't it look nice?
It looks great.
You're sitting in my chair. You might have made some kind of looks improvement there. You look great, man. I like you sitting there. You're drinking your coffee from the Hungry A. A lot of stuff to get to today. This isn't going to be a normal show. I'm at the beach house. Evan's there. Brandon's there. I don't think we'll break anything today. But we're just going to kind of run through. I could have taken vacation, but I didn't want to. There's too much stuff going on. So we'll see how long the show's going to go. I don't know, but we're going to talk about all kinds of stuff. Matter of fact, the first thing we'll talk about looking up is the BKFC Prospect Series. We're going to talk about how it went and just kind of give you some, I guess, connect the dots with that, let you know what's going on with the Prospect Series. Excited for that. Also, BKFC 49, another huge show the night after the Prospect Series. We'll do a live look back and some of our thoughts on that show as well. And then BKFC 49 behind the scenes, footage you usually don't see anywhere. Footage that was so hidden that I saw one of the things we saw just appeared on our Instagram like less than an hour ago that we didn't even know we had that we put up. So I'm excited to show you all that kind of stuff. Plus, we're going to talk about the BKFC race car. It's a real thing. We'll show you some footage of that. That'll be cool. Who's out there celebrating that at Daytona. Also, we're going to look ahead to BKFC 50, and there's a lot of other great stuff coming up, including BKFC 50. Very excited about that. The first thing I want to talk about, though, I mean, look at that. I feel like the death rate has increased so much since last week. We had everybody dying. Terry Funk, you know him from maybe Over the Top. He was in the Stallone movie. He helped Stallone out a lot. Very famous professional wrestler. Then you had Bray Wyatt, 36 years old, dying of a heart attack in his sleep. That was insane. And then Bob Barker. I mean, the guy's old too, but he passes away. Bob Barker, a legend. Got to work with him once. He's brilliant. I think 8 decades in entertainment. That's a really long time. Evan, when you were home from school as a kid, was it Price is Right, required watching for you like it was for me and everyone else?
During my many suspensions from school growing up, I saw the only place I know Bob Barker from is from Happy Gilmore when he beats him up.
You didn't watch Price is Right?
No.
Really? You're one of the few.
When I was home,
did you watch Price is Right?
When I was home during the school day, you would watch Jerry, or what the hell? The Springer Show, Jerry Springer Show.
Our age difference is definitely showing. I used to watch the Springer Show too, but I was probably much older than you. So when I was younger, I'd sit at home and watch Bob Barker, and I'd watch him talk. I like Cliffhanger. Planko was a fun game. Let us know in the chat. A lot of people joining us. I see Scott, Brian Maxwell, Swervo Cruz, Michael. Who else is in here? Andrew saying what's up. Let us know what your favorite game was. Kyle's in here on The Price is Right. People, talking about Terry Funk. They're excited about that as well, that he was in Roadhouse. So definitely a lot of great games in Price is Right. But the big thing was they would say, make sure your pets are spayed and neutered at the end of every broadcast. I thought that was interesting because, well, we have somebody got spayed or neutered. I don't know what he would be, I guess neutered, spayed. I don't know which one's which, never to pet. Jared Berry does our graphic design. He recently got clipped, chipped, cut, chopped.
Spayed.
Evan, would you ever do that?
What's that? Would I ever do that? God, no. You could put $1 million in front of me and I wouldn't do that. After Jeremy telling me what he's been through?
Apparently both of his nuts are black and blue now, and they're swelling rapidly, he's telling us. I wouldn't want to get it done either. It scares me. I don't think I'd want to get it done, but, he's got his reasoning. I just, not for me. And you talk about Bob Barker, we're still talking about him and the deaths, the celebrity deaths. So it's kind of like a death pool. Evan, who's the next celebrity going to die? Pick it.
You.
I can only be so lucky. I would get some sleep. Finally, it'd be great. I feel like it's going to be somebody young due to drugs. That's always the way to go and do the death pools. You can pick the older guys. Like Brandon and I were talking before the show. Clint Eastwood, he's 93, I think.
He's going to live forever.
That's time's ticking for him. But I feel like a lot of these younger celebrities, you got anyone aside from me, aside from my sleep I can get?
Talking to me?
Yeah, one of you. Whoever's answers. I don't think his mic's working, Brandon. He's not talking much today.
Brandon, who's going to die? I don't even know celebrities. Who's famous?
I don't either. I don't follow him anymore. I was hoping you had something, but I typically think it's a younger guy. You can let us know in the comments section as they all shout out their favorite Price is Right games. Cliffhanger, Plinko, Gator Wrestler says, can't beat spinning the wheel for the showcase. That was awesome. Punch a Bunch. Well, let us know the next celebrity is going to die as well. We'll get back to that later, but let's move on from that. And let's talk about the mailbag. The mailbag is always a big deal on the show. We love hearing from you. Of course, you can always submit in. It's thebareknuckleshow@gmail.com. Usually we'll pop the address up there on the bottom and let us know, what you see at the shows. If you take a cool picture with a fighter or Evan or myself or Brandon or anybody and you want to send it in, we'd love to hang it up on the wall behind us in the studio. Or even if it's an interview or something funny you want us to see. Maybe we'll play it on the show. I can tell you this, it's pretty cool. I always like when fighters send stuff in too. The first thing comes message from Christine Vissens. She sent this in. Let's look at it. This is pretty cool. You can see her kids saying that basically her boys haven't let go of their BKFC gear, and thanks for the goods. So, yeah, that makes me feel good. These kids are happy. We do that from time to time at the show. I run around the crowd. It's one of the things I do, and I hook people up with freebies. We hooked them up, I think, with shirts and like koozies inside the bag. It made them happy. I try to do that. If you see me at the show, ask me for a shirt. I'll shoot one towards you. And then...
What's she doing?
What else did we have? Did you get a bag? Did you get a gift bag, Evan? I left one for you.
No, I didn't. But I was saying, what's Christine Vissens doing lately? We've been waiting to see her
She's
fight.
commentating. I'm excited to see her comeback. I was talking to her husband.
Yeah.
And you said her name better than I do. You do the proper pronunciation.
Vissens.
I don't. I'm very bad at
that hard.
But I'm excited to see her come back, and I want to see her fight. I did not get to hear her commentary. I guess you did, not you, Evan, but the viewers on the broadcast. But, yeah, she's always fun to watch. So I want to see what she's up to next. What do you want to see for her next, Ev?
Well, I mean, who'd she fight last? Was that Jad? Was that her last opponent?
I think it might was in Hollywood, maybe?
It was in if Jad was the last opponent, she needs to get back in there.
So I see they're saying that in the chat, too. Who's that? I just saw that Michael saying she needs a fight. I agree. What's the email for the mailbag? Somebody asked. I'll tell you again. We put it up on the screen there. It's thebareknuckleshow@gmail.com. Yeah, but I hope here, Gator Wrestler saying we want to see her. So let's talk to the matchmakers. If you're watching, I know you watch.
Her last fight was Jocelyn Liebarger,
right,
BKFC 34.
Yeah, that's right, dude. That was yeah. Put her out.
Yeah. That was still December though, wasn't it?
She pieced her up.
Yeah.
She's a 25er. She's a 25er, so that would be one of the top contenders there. What's her rank? Check out the rankings. See where she's at.
Number 5, right?
Website says 5.
Yeah.
All right. Well, who's number 4?
I don't know, but I want to see her step back in there too. I agree.
Well, you can see all the rankings on the app, so I'll pull it up while you guys talk.
I love that Mike jumped in and said, Lieberger, you knew before we did, man. These guys, it's Mike and Miss Show, mission accomplished. Shout out to them. Aside from her, as Evan's looking that up, he's like a stat man. He knows everything.
Apparently
I want to talk about some other mail we received. You'll see it popping up here in just a second, the other mail. It's another great thing, another picture of these guys. They showed up. It's a great thing, except for me being in the picture, because these guys, it's Fight 305. Yo! They came, they covered the press conference, they covered the event. We thanked them.
I'm glad you let go of your mic so easy at these shows.
What's that, bud?
I'm glad that you let go of your mic so easy at these shows.
That picture was taken at 1-something in the morning after the presser, and I actually walked them up there. I always ask the people, I say, you want to hold the mic? And they get excited. So it's exciting when someone holds my mic.
Well,
I get excited too.
Beck Rawlings is the number 4.
Let's move on from that comment, because that could be double entendres that I didn't mean.
I'm back with your rankings report.
It's exciting when you send the stuff in. We can hang it on the wall. We appreciate that. The only other thing I wanted to hit, did you get that stat, Evan?
Yeah, I've been trying to chime in. So, Vissens is number 5. Beck Rawlings is 4. Starling is 3. Britton Hart is 2. And Jad Wong is 1. But Vissens beat Jad Wong, so I don't know how that works.
Wow. Well, she just also came off a win, though.
Who?
Jad.
Against Taylor.
Yeah.
Yo, so there's somebody in the comments here, Evan. They're not too happy with you. Want me to read it?
Yeah.
They said, every time I try to watch this, I see the same D-bag millennial repeatedly burping into the microphone. Makes people tune out.
Send that guy a T-shirt.
Look, Bush League. Response.
You like the burp. You make me burp.
I've asked you many
You
times to
said,
pull away
you
from
said
my
the
phone
bucked
because
up
it hurts
burp.
my ear.
You
Actually.
said it's good for the sponsors.
Well, I thought maybe that your response would be funny if you just burped right in his face right now. I mean,
Well, sorry.
no, you can't do that. You can't burp on cue. We drinking coffee?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not you. That's not a bucked up burp. That's a coffee burp.
It's not as.
They're giving you hell in the comments about that. Wow.
Sorry, boys.
Let's see. So as we move on here, we talk about the mailbag. We got some great stuff to send in for that. Sorry, guys. Like I said, I'm at the Bare Knuckle Beach House. I'm working off a strange format today, more strange than normal. So the other thing I wanted to talk about that I thought was cool recently was Friday. You guys were getting ready to watch BKFC 49, and our content team, Lorenzo Hunt, I believe, I think Eddie Alvarez was there. We're on Bare Knuckle Bombshells. They're on a private jet to Daytona Raceway to reveal this. Let's take a look at some clips we have of this, what I'm talking about.
So we're at the Daytona International Speedway for the Xfinity Series race. We're just before the race, and we're going to see our driver, Alex Guenette, who's driving the Eviron BKFC car.
Missed it? He tried to run me over.
I saw that.
Yeah, you got all the phones. Yeah, tell him, go ahead. You got it. Right as hell.
Whoa. Eddie expecting a flood?
Evan
I'll let you
Zentar.
tell him that.
You can talk.
I ain't telling him
Zentar,
that.
Eddie.
That was Socia who said that.
This is our show should be called the blame game. We just heap blame back and forth with each other. That's all we do, and we never sure who's telling the truth. So it's always fun. That was cool. I'm not like I don't even know if I'm saying this correctly. I know it was Daytona. I'm not a NASCAR guy. I'll watch it time to time, but I think it's cool that we have another representation now with Bare Knuckle, and it's going to expand the brand a little bit. And the fighters seem excited too. You a NASCAR guy? Do you watch racing, Ed?
No, but I really like when they crash. I think those are cool to watch.
I don't know if you're supposed to say that, Evan, out loud. I don't know if that's supposed to be like the thing that you say, but it is fun to watch as long as they're okay, right? I mean, NASCAR fans get mad when you say that kind of stuff.
Do they? Well, sorry.
But they are loving you again in the chat. There's people defending you about your burps. They're saying that Stern does it all the time.
Just wait. Wait till
You're
what I
much
do
cooler than
next
Stern
season.
nowadays.
Wait till next season.
I agree.
What's coming?
Not hard. All right.
There's
So
a
I'm
delay
sorry,
with
there's a
this
weird
Zoom.
delay, Evan. I don't mean to talk over
Yeah,
you.
you really
if I am,
are.
I apologize.
Maybe if you didn't take your 9th vacation of the year, you could have been here in person.
It's been a few vacations there, Soch. I gotta say.
1 week off at the beginning of June, end of June.
I mean, you were
That's
just
it.
in Florida.
So
There
it's
wasn't
the
enough
one vacation
beach
I took.
there.
I'm sorry you can't afford a good vacation, Evan. Let's move on. Let's see.
The Wildwood.
Let me show out the window where I'm at. I'm in Wildwood. I'm at the Jersey Shore. I should have told you that. And I have some interesting stories about the Jersey Shore coming up too, because from wearing my bare knuckle shirt on the boardwalk, I got stopped a couple times. We're gonna get into that as well. It was pretty cool. One of them was really cool. So we talk about the race car. I think that's cool. I think it's cool to see that we're doing that, and everyone seems excited about it. That's a big honor. Daytona's a big thing in racing, and I know it wasn't that race. I don't know which race it was, but to be on that track, that's a pretty big deal. So, and also, I was talking to Eddie Alvarez about it. He said he wants to actually check out one of the races. We stayed across from there. I want to say it was maybe the first Knuckle Mania. I don't remember.
BKFC 12.
Was it 12? BKFC
12 in
is that what it was?
Daytona, yep. It was
Wow,
the
when you see it
launch of the
across from- I
BKFC
couldn't
app.
believe. You know it was big, but when you see it in person, oof, it's a big track. Let's move on from the race car stuff.
Okay.
I'm talk about fighting, right? That's what we're here to do.
What do you got
Let's
for
talk
us
about
next?
BKFC 49. Chris Lytle. He's a guy you always hear him calling the action, and I always like his recaps. It's interesting to hear what he says from all his time in fighting, and he gets to sit so close to the action, maybe see stuff we don't. So we always like to get Chris Lytle's look back and look ahead and look wherever. We like to see it. And see, Chris has, on this one, he reviews quickly the Prospect Series and BKFC 49. I would like to check that out too and see what Chris has to say.
Okay, we have here BKFC 49 and the Prospect Series wrap up. From the wrap up, the main thing I got out of that is Perdomo, the heavyweight. That guy's going to be a problem for everybody. Reminds me of a heavyweight version of John Dodson. Fast, accurate, explosive. Dude's from Cuba. Doesn't even speak in English, but the guy's had like 180 fights. Who's killing it right now? It's going to be a problem. As far as the main BKFC 49, man, we had Blas, Howard Davis, Duran all walked through their people easy. But the main thing to me that jumped out, Bryce Henry is going to be a problem for anybody anyway. He might be the best guy we have right now in any division. Very young, explosive. So long, the way he did that to Tom Schoaf, who's one of my favorite guys to watch, man, that was impressive. But then we also had Gogo, Goran Slavetsky won the title, 165, and he proved to me he can throw hard punches the entire fight. When he hits you, does some damage. So that was a great fight. Jake Lindsay put up a hell of a fight, but great night of fights.
Agree 100%. An amazing night of fights. And, I'm talking about BKFC 49, but I'm sorry, because, again, I'm at the Bare Knuckle Beach House. Maybe I've had some libations. Maybe I've had some drinks in my coffee here. I don't know. I think I forgot to talk about the Prospect Series. We should unpack that first. Thank you for the reminder, Lytle. Prospect Series. There can only be one first. There can only be one history-making event. It's the first one. It is unfolded. It's happened. I think it was a great show. I think a lot of great fights. I think that I know we didn't show it, but the amateur, the glove stuff, even that was entertaining to me. So we're going to see if that works out and how we're going to go about that. That'll be interesting in the future. But as far as the Prospect show, I mean, it's on the app. Check it out. It was really good.
What do you think of the glove stuff? You like it?
I would say I didn't hate it. I didn't hate it. I was actually pleasantly surprised that I liked it more than I thought it was. And look, that I would, excuse me. They were fighting their hearts out, so you can't take that away. I got to wonder if gloves don't hurt more than bare knuckles. I mean, I know they in a different way, There's different ways of looking at that. What did you think of the whole event? I mean, you're the guy real close to with the content direction and everything.
Well, I get the reason, look, it's kind of a big commitment to fight without gloves, for your first time. So I understand the glove thing. It's a way for guys it's the exact same fight, just with, some more protection on your hands. So you can test out the rule set and see if it's for you. So I get it. And then, of course, we have the pro bare knuckle fights on there. So it's, you come in, you do one of these, see if you like it. If so, you go on and do a prospect fight, without gloves. And I think it was cool. I think we found some real stars, like the chick in the main event, Rosalinda. She was awesome. Yes. And the girl she fought,
Christina Chris.
Yeah,
the chick with the yellow hair. By the way, I don't know anime. She tells me she's cosplaying some anime character. So if you didn't know, that's what she.
No, but she was tough too. So those are two girls who could absolutely come back.
She might have danced more than Taylor Starling on her debut when she was coming down. She was pumped to get in there, man. She couldn't wait. Yeah. So can't wait to see her back. I think that as a whole, the event was good. I made some notes on it when I was watching, and the things that stuck out to me, the main things were was it Leonardo Torres, I think, and Harry Cruz. First fight, I think it was. Yeah. Whoa, what a fight, man. What a fight to kick off the Prospect Series. Mm-hmm. If you haven't seen that, you need to go watch that in the app. That was one of my favorite fights I've seen in a very long time. And then I think right after that, there was a 21-second knockout or something? Right after that fight, there was a quick knockout. That was cool to see. And then Fred Pierce was the other one. There was some debating going on. Fred Pierce, the Cowboy, made his return. We haven't seen him in a long time. Took the fight on 2 days' notice?
1 day.
Was it 1 day?
Yep, 24 hours.
Wow, 1 day notice? He's the Cowboy, Fred Pierce. So I thought, considering he out of shape, I don't think he was constantly training and stuff, but he knows he can fight, and he's been around, so he took it. Kudos to him. That headshot, the back of the head, I mean, I know we rewatched it a couple times. At first, I wasn't sure, but then as they showed it, definitely a shot to the back of the head. It looked like it was lower neck, too. Joe Elmore was actually sticking up for him online about it, saying, yeah, that's a whole different ballgame when you get hit like that. I don't think he was gold bricking. I don't think he was selling. I don't think he was trying to get out of the fight. I think the guy, unfortunately, really got hit in the back of the head. What are you guys' thoughts on that?
I think until you've actually been punched in the back of the head, it's tough to understand how shitty it is and how much it can seriously affect the fight. Even if you get the 5 minutes of blood time to try and recover, you're still rattled, and it's a lot easier to get concussed that way. So you can't, especially if he was, he took the fight on super short notice, he wasn't prepared to, kind of take that sort of damage. I understand it completely.
As do I. I think. I mean, I know that's what I saw. I didn't think there was much of debate after I saw like one or two replays.
Yeah.
Fred, I talked to him. The next day.
The nicest guy in bare knuckle, by the way.
He was doing great. So kudos to Fred for jumping in there. We're glad he's okay. That kind of stuff happens, but I think it's cool that as we develop as a sport now, we can look at these things, stop them. Stuff that might have gotten by in the beginning or before we came on the scene, that's not happening as much anymore. So I'm glad that we're paying attention to that. But yeah, that was definitely a shot to the back of the head. Anybody online that said it wasn't, I got to question your eyesight. My eyesight's pretty bad. But yeah, Prospect Series, I thought it was a win all around. I think the crowd was loud for it. They seemed excited for it. And I'm excited for the next one. Evan, you're the guy that's helping out making the Prospect Series show that we're doing.
Yep.
How do you think it came about for the show? These people are going to get contracts. I know that's going to be announced in the show.
Yeah.
When are we going to see the show start on the app? Stuff like that.
A couple weeks it'll be done. Basically, we followed the whole event from like a documentary series angle to kind of, catch the guys before they even got there. We interviewed them a few weeks prior. Then we caught them on fight week and followed them through the show, got their pre-fight jitters out when they were getting wrapped up, and then got their immediate, post-fight reactions to everything. So I think it's a cool little show we're putting together with that. And I think just for the Prospect Series overall, for what it is, you're going to get, bare knuckle fighting on Thursday nights. So it's just another day of fight stuff. So, nothing to complain about there.
Oh, no, you get more fights, and I feel like I'm selling this. I'm not trying to, but as a fan, I'm excited because not even working here, you're going to see this develop. It might be kind of slowly, but the next crop, as I said, I think like a week or two ago,
we'll get there.
All these people that came from the tryouts before, like the Lorenzo Hunts of the world, a lot of our roster, you're going to see their climb now. We're going to be checking it out, so it'll be fun to follow it. And then it's almost got a game show feel to it when Dave Feldman gives out the contracts. And if you sit next to Dave Feldman, you know how intense he is. As a matter of fact, there was actually, I don't know, what do they call that thing? An ISO shot of him or something where he's losing his mind for a knockout?
Yeah, he had a camera
and I
on.
got the camera there, and I'm like a tool. I'm going. But it's very exciting. I know he's excited for the Prospect Series, too. So we're excited, yet again, I'll say that word, to see where it goes next. And we hope you are, too. Judging by the comments, it says that everyone seems pretty excited, too, Prospects. So we're on the right track with that. I love it. Let's jump from the Prospects to the next night. BKFC 49 in Miami. Place was jam-packed. I think we turned people away. It was very loud in there. They were very excited. And there's a lot of good stuff on that. I mean, you're up close, Evan. What were the parts that stuck out to you? Then I'll give you what I think.
Well, for those who don't know, on camera you see a lot of blood, visually, like that first fight of the night or not the first fight on the
prelims.
Was that prelims?
Yeah.
Or no, what's it? No, on main card. No. Brovar and
no, that was prelims too.
Yeah, both prelims. Fights and nights are both prelims.
Okay. No, well, I think it got moved to the main card because we ran out of time.
About 3
days. You are correct, yes.
Whatever the hell that fight was, the smell of, you don't know, like just like all that blood, it's quite a stench. You don't take that, you take that for granted when you're watching it on TV, but I gotta wade through it.
What would you compare that smell to? Like, what do you?
It's like pennies. It's like pennies and sweat.
That's a great.
We also.
I was thinking what we compared it to too. I couldn't come up with something. That's 100% correct.
We're in the splash zone there, so we're getting covered in blood and sweat all night. If you look at like the camera I'm holding, I have to clean it because it gets covered in, like the lens is covered in blood constantly. Like it gets really wet down there.
Does it?
Yeah.
Okay. So,
why did you
got excited about watching fights, I'm sure. But it does. It gets very bloody, very wet. And
let's get a live shot.
We're looking at some of the stuff now from the fight. One of the fights of the night. 2 fights of the night. That says a lot.
This is where all the blood came from. There's Vespi. Vespi's in the splash zone right there. He was covered.
Hit.
Yeah.
The SeaWorld.
I was ringside. I was covered after about 1.
Yeah. You could see.
I looked over you at one point, Dave, and I said it was something I had. I had blood on my arm. You had blood. I think about 1. You had blood on your shoulder. I said, "Look, you already got it."
Just let me know who to send the bill to for my dry cleaning.
Yeah.
Right? And Dave Senior's wearing an all-white shirt. I'm like, "What are you doing? What are you thinking?" But here we go. One of the fights of the night. I love when we have 2 fights of the night, and it was even hard because there were so many great fights on that show. The other fight of the night that we got to see, Jomi and the Hawk himself. I love it. I'm sorry, Mike.
Esteban Rodriguez.
I thought Jomi and Esteban Rodriguez and Jomi Escobozo. So that was another amazing fight.
Yeah.
We got to
Escobozo.
speak with them at the post-fight presser. Freddie is very excited to be here, and he can't wait to see what's coming next. And, the Hawk and Jomi, just as excited. Fight of the night bonus. I don't know what they're going to do with it, but congratulations to them. That was 2 well-deserving fights of the night. We can talk about the knockout in there. We're going to do that later, but we might as well do it here, too, after we watch the clips from the fight of the night.
You got any volume on this there, Brandoni?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought that there was volume. That's why I shut up. I can talk if you need me to. I think that Jomi is a guy that I'm really glad is here. We picked him up from another bare knuckle outfit, and I think he's really going to grow here. Jomi's got that wacky jab he has, the Jomi jab. And I like Esteban, too. I like the Hawk, man. That guy shows intensity like few other I've seen. And I told him that after the weigh-ins when he came out. If you watch the weigh-ins, he shows some huge intensity, and he shows that in the squared circle as well. That's why he's going to be successful here. Really enjoyed this fight.
60 seconds remaining, round number 3. Straight right hand from Rodriguez. Escobozo, good right hand, and a counter right hand right back. It's the left hand now from Rodriguez, right to the body. 2 clean right hands from Esteban Rodriguez. That backs off Jomi Escobozo. Escobozo, good right hand.
It's got to hurt so much more getting punched in the side of the head that's shaved as compared to having hair there. Because look at Jomi. Jomi's got, it's braided, so it's like a coarse rope. It probably offers some more protection, but Rodriguez, it's totally shaved.
Yeah, especially with bare knuckle, because when the knuckles rip your skin.
Well, you see how he's digging his head in there? You know how much that it's got to hurt? Of just hair, really tight knit hair just scratching into your face?
Yeah, I never thought of that.
Oh, yeah, it sucks.
It's a great observation. I never thought of that. I think of the beards, and I jokingly say they'll cushion the punches or they'll hurt the knuckles a little more when you hit them.
Doctor.
I never thought of a shaved head. That's an amazing observation.
Donato.
You should be doing commentary, too. You can't do it all, though, Ev, right?
Right.
10-second clack.
We're playing this whole fight here?
Yeah, Brandon doesn't know what he's doing.
Come on, Brandon.
The volume's still on.
the sound
Jesus
down.
Christ.
Well, to be fair, they put me up here, and usually I control the sound, but they threw me up here.
Nah, it's still fair. It's fine.
It's good. Everything's good. So aside from that, wait, where's the other guy?
The one-man army.
I thought he was in there. Where's he at?
Oh, that's Junior. He's over there.
Yeah, I'm in the corner. I'm
He's in the
just
chair.
hanging
He's
out.
in the corner. Nobody puts Junior in the corner.
No.
But himself.
But knockout. Let's talk about that since we're doing the fight and then show that as well. Rambo, man.
I sent you the video, Brandon. Download that.
Knockout night. Rambo Russo. I've never heard anybody call him Matt. He's Rambo Russo. Yeah. And a quick knockout, man, for Rambo. I think we're going to take a look at that in just a minute. Do we have a video of that, guys, or no?
Just depends if how fast. Brandon
He sent me a
download
different angle of it, so I'm going to pull that up.
Well, I was like, what's your angle, Evan? Evan's angle. He
No,
gets
it's
pretty good shots.
It's James's angle.
Yeah.
Whose is it?
James. Yeah.
All you guys shooting. It's nice to see the ones outside the broadcast because we don't always get to see them. But yeah, another great knockout. Fun to watch the bare knuckle knockouts. I'll wait to see what the chat's saying as we're waiting to pull the knockout video. Let's see. Oh, Big Ben's dealing with the hurricane.
Big Ben won't call me back about work in Denver, so I don't know what's up with Big Ben.
Oh.
What'd you say about Big Ben?
He won't call me back about work in Denver.
He's talking. He's running from the hurricane right now. I guess it's a huge hurricane.
I've probably been ignoring him for a week, so he's probably going to have a heart attack right now that I'm saying that. Last time I talked to him, I FaceTimed him after the show last week, and he was in his underwear in bed, and I said, "Dude, what the hell are you doing?"
Should ask him to talk slowly and softly to you when you saw him in his underwear.
I got that.
All right, here it is. We've killed an upside. Let's knock out.
I like this hump right here.
That's your OnlyFans exclusive look.
Yeah, right? You get extra for that.
That's when it switches to my shot.
That's a good shot. Damn.
This is James. Hump. I was getting dry hump right here. I was right in my face.
By the way, Dave, Big Ben is weighing in on the chat. He's like, I am working Denver. So
I hope so.
Swearboat Cruz says, I lost my voice. I'm still recovering. It was such a great show. I concur with that statement and a great knockout by Russo. The other thing I want to talk about at BKFC 49, again, I'm running around the crowd trying to get people nuts, but I also try to make notes throughout the event so I can remember what to talk about. I thought it was interesting, and this is kind of some of the behind-the-scenes stuff that we talked about we were going to do. I think it's interesting that Brian Duran, look at this guy. This guy, we talk about that youth movement all the time. We talk about how we're hiring all these younger people. He just turned 28, got into the sport, and this guy's tearing it up. BKFC featherweight, he's ready to go. I think it's, 48 seconds for him and Dakota High Pine to take Dakota High Pine out? And it's cool, too, because you see guys like him. Brian will tell you he's a better person now than when he got into bare knuckle. Bare knuckle made him a better person, made him more disciplined, which is cool. I think I read something about him being the first fighter in our history to begin his career with 5 straight victories by stoppage. So that's a nice little stat for you statisticians. But yeah, I'm excited to see what Brian Duran's going to do. I know that we recently posted something on Instagram, Evan, and I believe we have that to check out. I'm going way out of order. You're going to kill me, Brandon. I'm sorry. But I'd like to look at the video of Brian Duran afterwards and see who he was calling out, see what he was doing. This is immediately following his fight.
El Gallo, baby! Hey, Gallo, I want my belt. Kai, where you at, Kai? Where you at, Kai? Where you at? Hey, I want my belt. Tell him I want my belt. I want my fucking belt. Where Kai at? Where Kai at? Where Kai? Let's go. Bingo.
There it goes, man. I mean, Kai Stewart.
Kai responded. We
His
posted
name
that.
is on a lot of people's lips. They all want that title. When Kai's not messing with Sugar Sean at UFC press conferences, he's not getting upset with Kai's mention of his name. Other people are calling him out. So I'd be interested to see Kai fight anybody. I always like a good title defense. Brian Duran versus Kai. Is that something we might see, Evan? I mean, at some point, I feel like Duran's on a tear.
So we put it up, and then Kai was actually the first one to comment on it. He said, not top 5. I would love to stop this can. So there was some, Kai does not see him as a threat. And I'm sure El Gallo does not appreciate that.
El Gallo.
Yes.
That's a chicken or a rooster or something?
Rooster.
Right?
Rooster, yeah.
The cock.
I thought that's what he meant, the cock. I mean, I'm not sure what he means by that, though.
I don't think he's calling himself a cock.
That's just another word for rooster.
Yeah.
He's the rooster. Because he's got, like the rooster like guards the hen house. I have a bunch of chickens, I know.
You do, that's right. Wait, first I must ask you, are they delivering eggs to you, these chickens?
Yeah, I'm getting 8 a day right now. And so the rooster, like if like a fox tries to get in, all the hens run away, but the rooster will, fucking go after him. So that's El Gallo.
So the rooster's like the head cock.
You could say that.
Yeah.
All right, good. Well, I think Duran's got a bright future here. I'm excited and to see what he does next. I think he's going to really pay off in spades for us here at BKFC. So I'm looking forward to that. The other guy I want to talk to on the card, Lyle talked about some of these people earlier, but why not? Go unanimous victory against Jake Lindsay. I'm going way out of order, but I want to talk about the main event because what a war, what a slobber knocker. I saw some people online a little bit complaining that they were clinching too much, and I didn't mind it. Live, I thought it was great. The atmosphere might have helped it. The fans were insane about it. They were losing their minds, so I don't think it was bad. I mean, they were chanting. You can see, and we'll watch it in a second here. You can see, first, we just talked about Brian Duran. You can see him in the crowd. This is really cool. It's right after Go won the world title, the decision. You can watch the announcement, I should say. You can watch Brian Duran and the crowd's reaction. It's pretty cool.
Ah, very nice.
So you can get that excited. when his friend wins a world title. Now he's trying to challenge Kai. If he wins a world title, he's going to come unglued, man. The fans might too, especially if it's in Miami, because that's the other thing. That was just him. You thought he was excited, but the fans, just watch what they did. They were chanting. They were losing their minds when he won.
There seemed to be some controversy in that fight, too.
There you go. And yeah, we will talk about that controversy in a moment, but just to kind of put a button on the fans and all.
Oh, will we?
As I said, I'm at the Bare Knuckle Beach House. I'm in Wildwood, New Jersey, and I was on the boardwalk last night, and I happened to be wearing a bare knuckle hat. And there's a lot of people that aren't from here that work here on like scholarship programs or whatever they call them. And the person had their name tag, and they always had where they're from, and it said Macedonia. Well, the guy saw my hat, and he said, "Hey, one of my countrymen, or whatever they would say, one of my guys from there, he won. He won." And I'm like, "Yeah, I work there. I know." He knew all about Gogo's win. He's from Macedonia, so big news in Macedonia. They got themselves a world champion. I thought that was pretty cool.
Well, I guess Rob can keep his job another week then. The marketing maybe works.
So the controversy, Evan, I saw some controversy online as well. I don't know if I agree with it, but what do you see with the controversy? Talk about that.
I go right to Facebook. I go to Reddit. I like to see what the fans are saying. And they were posting pictures of the strike stats because on paper, Lindsay had more strikes and he landed more strikes. But then the boys over at Mike and Mish posted about what they thought of it, and they said that
great.
Yeah, that if you look at the new unified rules that were approved, basically Gogo won. If you look at those rules, he won 3 rounds of 2 because he was pushing the pace more. He was more aggressive, landed more power shots or significant strikes. Where Jake Lindsay may have landed more shots because he was throwing a lot of punches in the clinch. They may not have been as significant. Because our stats, I mean, look, I think they just say strikes. They don't say, we don't have significant strikes or.
It's not significant. Well, we do body. I don't know if we did on this fight, but we have body, headshots, shots in the clinch. And there's clinch strikes here.
Yeah. So I think Jake definitely looked like he had more damage.
Yeah, I saw the thing that Mike and Mish did. I know they're in the chat. Kudos to them. That was really cool. They went through round by round and, like you said, broke down what the rules are and what their reasoning was for who won the round. I'm sure you can see that if you log on. I think they have it on Facebook. I believe they have it on Instagram. They might have posted it in Only Hands, but it's really a great thing they did. And I enjoyed reading it. Thank you for doing that, guys. It was great to read, especially with the controversy. I mean, I think Gogo won it too. I know President Dave Feldman said he'd like to see a rematch. I'd like to see a rematch. It was a fun fight to watch. And matter of fact, I don't know if you guys picked up on this, but the press conference, the post-fight presser, I asked them that, would you guys do a rematch? And see how I just said, you guys? See, in Philly, we have this horrible way of talking, and it slips out of me sometimes. I believe I said use guys or use. Would use do a rematch? So I apologize for my Philly popping out. I was embarrassed as soon as it came out.
You shouldn't be ashamed of where you're from, Brian.
But yeah, I enjoyed the fight. I thought it was great, and I'd love to see a rematch between those two.
Me too.
I was enjoying watching that. Okay, so we're back here.
I was
but I'll talk
locked in
about
for
the
a
other
second.
thing. Co-main event. Let's talk about Bryce Henry and Tom Schoaf. And before we get into the fight and about Bryce and give him his flowers, as they say, I hate that term, but I just said it. I want to talk about Tom. Tom Schoaf, a guy that's been here for a really long time. He's like an OG. Put on some great fights. I asked you last week to post your favorite Tom Schoaf fight in the chat. You can do that this week as well. There's so many great ones. This fight didn't go his way, ended really quickly. It shows you what a threat Bryce is. I mean, we knew he was, and we'll talk about that in a second. But what I'd like to do is, I knew this was Tom's last bare knuckle fight, and what I wanted to do was, he loves the fans. I said, address your fans. Tell them what you think. What are your thoughts right now? We did this before the fight, so I'd like to roll that clip, from Tom Schoaf right now.
You guys, I mean, let's be honest. I wouldn't be here, and I wouldn't be getting the heartfelt complaints and messages and things like that from a lot of the BKFC community if it weren't for the fans, if it weren't for you guys. I truly mean that. I have been so honored and felt genuine love from this community. I can't thank you enough. You've all been wonderful to me, and I can honestly say I don't know that I've ever had a rude experience with any of you. So thank you for that. And as far as my fights go, like I said, I just hope you continue to watch them and remember them and appreciate the fact that I didn't used to look like this 5 years ago. You know, sorry I got rid of the mustache early, but there you go.
That's all I got. Thanks.
I know Brian misses the mustache.
They make fun of me.
You gonna get out of
I
this?
brought it up and you don't know. He doesn't know. So like Jake Bostwick grew a mustache. I'm like, you're all trying to be Tom Schoaf, so I'd always ask them. Everyone comes with a mustache. I'm like, you get better than Schoaf mustache? Always, and he makes fun of me. He's like, you're obsessed with mustaches.
You are.
I had a good mustache.
I kind of, yeah.
Strange. They left that in there. Yeah, I do. I always would compare. Every time somebody gets a new mustache, I would compare it to Show. The other thing from that clip, other than the heartfelt words from Tom, I've noticed that I don't only own one bare knuckle shirt. It's like I get all these, so I wear the same bare knuckle shirt all the time. Actually, Junior, you said that to me. Like, is that the only shirt you own?
I was just thinking
wear
as
a
we
lot.
rolled
Like,
that video.
It's free, so it's me.
I hope we got something for Tom Show. You know, like somewhere in the company, he can be a part of it still.
Yeah, you know, in talking with Tom, I asked him, I was like, this is gone. Is this over for you? You're just done fighting? I'm going to see you coaching. He told me, I never knew this, that he didn't get into fighting to fight. He never really wanted to fight. And I don't want to misquote him, but this is what I remember him saying, that he always wanted to be a coach, but he thought that he had to fight so he could coach better. So, I mean, I'd love to have Tom show up as a coach. We'll see. When time can tell. I always say anything can happen in bare knuckle fighting championship, but Tom, we'll miss you, man. Thank you for applying your trade here. Thank you for the great fights you gave us. We look forward to see what you do next. And we hope maybe we'll see you here again one day soon. So I guess it's see you down the road. And the other guy, I mean, coming out of this, Bryce Henry. I mean, one guy falls, what was it? Others die, so some can eat, that kind of thing, or some can survive. And I think that's what it is. Tom's gone, but Bryce, forget about it. I mean, we could watch this whole fight. It was so quick. Bryce put the pressure on. Tom knew, look, this is going to end bad for me, it seemed. And, you know, he decided to pack up his bags and on his last fight, quit. And, I mean, if Bryce Henry's making Tom Shove quit, Tom Shove's not a guy that would normally quit. That tells you something. So I'm excited to see where Bryce goes next. Lytle said it. He's got a bright future. I think that he's probably at, what is he, 22, we said earlier? One of the brightest shining stars that could be in the company, and we're seeing it over and over again. I think that Bryce is the real thing.
Oh yeah, he's great. He never it doesn't even look like he gets hit. He's so slick, and you know, he's gonna go far. He called out Palomino right away. He's doing all the right things. You know?
Well, if you read the format,
nobody gave me a format.
I guess they're putting one out for you. It's a storytelling. We're going to get to that next. We'll show you that, the behind-the-scenes footage. But he did call out Palomino. You know that now.
He did in the ring.
Reason. I mean,
he did it in his post-fight interview.
He's a problem.
It was a
said it
surprise.
too. And the best thing about Bryce is he just walks around smiling. He loves being here. He's very tall, too, I feel like, for that weight class, which can be an issue for some of these guys he's going to be fighting.
Yeah, Tom. I think Tom was just like, I'm done taking, you know, he's taking so many hard hits like that. It's probably like he just knew where it was going and wasn't worth it.
No, it's not. But for Tom to do something like that, he's a guy that normally doesn't do that. That tells you something about Bryce. And I think that, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, maybe you remember this, Evan, I think Tom said that his first fight was August 25th for BKFC and his last fight was August 25th. Another weird, interesting
BKFC
stat.
too.
Yeah, that is cool. I didn't think of that.
2018. Yeah, or was 2018.
Yep.
I was there.
The funny thing about that fight, it was actually a dark fight. It didn't air. We
It's the first fight.
Yeah, we overbooked like crazy the fight card because we had no idea what the hell we were doing. I mean, some could argue we still don't know what the hell we're doing. But back then, we booked 14 fights, and when we were on pay-per-view, there's a pay-per-view window you can't go over. I think it was 3 hours. So 5 fights were dark fights, and I think it was like a Marcel Stamps devastating knockout, the Tom Schoaf Diego fight, a couple other ones on there too, and they were like the best fights of the night. They did not air. So.
Well, I mean, do we have? You guys keep like archival footage of that?
I think we have it, but the audio was messed up or something. You remember that? Ev?
Yeah, the broadcast fucked that one up.
Yeah.
But
you have the fights on tape even?
Yeah,
we have the fights.
Yeah, I shot it too. That was my first event I was ever at. Was 2.
Yeah, I don't know if that's possible. Maybe I'm talking out of turn here, but I would love to see that kind of stuff make the app. Like the fights, the dark fights we've never seen that people need to see. That might be kind of cool.
We'll think about it.
That's something you want to see. We'll put some of the older fights that you haven't seen. I wasn't even aware we had that. That's cool. So as far as Bryce and Palomino, I mean, if that happens, where do you see that going, Evan? I know where I see it going. You got the best pound-for-pound bare-knuckle fighter in the world in Palomino. He's ranked as that versus Bryce. And I think Bryce is going to be a huge issue for Palomino. I really do.
Well, that fight was at, what, 55?
That's where it would be probably, yeah.
So what's Bryce ranked at? I like to see. I don't like
He
to
just
see,
cracked the top 5,
Yeah,
so
like,
he's
I wanna
number
see,
5 now.
I don't want to give him go right to a title shot. I like to see him fight like, you know, the 3 and the 2. You know, I want to climb the rankings.
No, I agree. But when he gets to Palomino, and especially that, if he's doing the climb, that's going to take a little while. Palomino's going to be a little older. It just happens. It's father time, so it's going to be even more of a problem for him as we check out the rankings here.
Well, and Luis has said he wants to fight, you know, big name people. He wants, you know, to fight the Eddie Alvarez of BKFC. So is that even a fight?
He wouldn't do it. Eddie said he didn't want to fight Luis. Remember, he said, "I'm not going to fight that guy."
Yeah. So
I mean, it'll be interesting to see what Luis has with the big name fighters. I think Luis is one of the biggest names in bare knuckle. I mean, he's the #1 pound-for-pound fighter. He's got a lot of titles. He's got a lot of credits to his name, so to speak. So to me, in our world, he is a big name.
To this point,
I think Eddie's looking for the dream fights for all of combat sports.
I see one name on there I like.
He's got to try and make his money and get his name out there as much as possible. He's been doing it for over 20 years.
Yeah, thanks. I see Tony Soto on there. Bryce Henry, Tony Soto is an awesome fight.
Well, Tony Soto might have some fight news coming soon.
Oh, Tony's got fight news coming soon. Oh, was somebody on that list?
I don't think so.
What?
Maybe. I can't see that list. Eyesight's not.
James Lilly, Robbie Peralta, Bobby Taylor.
Maybe.
Luis Palomino?
Not Luis Palomino.
Oh, okay. Well.
Well, let's actually, since we're talking about it, we have to let the cat out of the bag. I'd like to show behind the scenes stuff. And I believe in this clip he mentions, somebody calls out Luis, but this is what it looked like right after Bryce won his fight. And let's take a look at that.
It doesn't even look like he got touched.
I don't think he did.
Yes, sir. Flawless victory. Flawless victory. We do this shit.
They're skipping. They're skipping. That's all. Evan, at the next fight, me and you are going to skip around backstage, and I bet you we won't look as cool as they did.
Definitely not. Those are two great guys, Howard and Bryce. I love those guys. They're great.
A couple things, though, about that. I mean, well, and the main thing, I guess, we talked about Palomino already, but when you look at Howard Davis there, I got to bring him up, too. H.C. Davis, that's another guy in our youth movement. I actually wrote, third straight stoppage for H.D. Davis. So I'm excited to see where he's going to go. I feel like there was a lot of young blood on this show that we've been seeing develop, and I feel like they're going to go so much further. So it's always cool to see stuff like that.
Yeah, it is.
So I don't know what's next for H.D. Davis, but I'm looking forward to his next fight. Other than that, I think it was a pretty tight show. I enjoyed it. There wasn't much bad in the show that I saw. The crowd seemed to love it. They were going nuts. Evan, like I said, you're closer than everybody to it, other than the fact that, you know what? I want to address something else here. I made a note about this, and he said it in that video. Baba Yaga, not Baby Yaga. And some of you Gator wrestler, I'm looking at you, gave me shit for that.
You still fucked that up.
That's written. Go to BKFC.com, Baby Yaga. And I didn't realize I was saying it wrong, so I apologize. We talked about it. I can own up when I'm wrong, but that's what I was given. It's Baba Yaga, which is from, I've never seen it. Make fun of me all you want. I've never seen it.
That's still wrong.
And he's the guy they send to kill the boogeyman if you're like me and you've never seen it. Where Baby Yaga is like a female witch. It doesn't even make sense.
Can you not hear me? Is there a delay?
I'm sorry.
You're still fucking that up. Baba Yaga.
Fuck.
Baba Yaga.
Baba Yaga.
That's a Delco accent. Don't worry about it.
Baba Yaga.
I think it is my accent.
I'm down at the shore.
Say it again so I can say it without my horrible, cringy accent. Go ahead.
Baba Yaga.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, you say it now.
Baba Yaga.
Whatever.
Good job.
Yeah, well done. Can we move on?
No, thank you. Yeah, I just want to point that out. So I'm excited to see what he's going to do next. I thought it was a great show, a great fight, another one. I'm excited for what we have coming up, too. The upcoming schedule, if you take a look at it, Evan, I mean, we're all over the place, and we're doing a lot. BKFC 50, the big one, Hunt Kamosi, 50 events. Actually, probably more than that weren't numbered. But we'll go with BKFC 50, Hunt Kamosi for the world title, another world title fight. That's going to be awesome. The undercard, I'm sure, going to be great too. BKFC.com. You can check out these fights as they develop. And from Denver, which is always a loud, crazy crowd, we hit September 29th. And next weekend, we're in Salem, Virginia, which is right by Roanoke. Britton Hart versus Melanie Shaw. We just saw Melanie Shaw fight for us recently. I think it was last event, BKFC 48. So it's excited to see what she's going to do there. And I know that Britain is huge there because, well, she's well known. That's like her stomping grounds. That's going to be another great fight. They always are with these the matches made in heaven. These are always so good. And then you got South Carolina coming up as well, too, which I don't know the town. And I know the date is October 20th. I don't know the town or the venue yet. We'll release that soon. Again, keep checking at BKFC.com. And we just talked about Britton Hart earlier. She's main eventing that show in Salem, BKFC 51. But then when we head to Thailand, that's a big fight coming up in Thailand. And she's going to be co-mating that ahead of this. I mean, look, we talked about it last week. Thai rules, which I don't remember. I know it was no headbutts, but was it kicking, punching? Like, this is going to be a good fight. And this is a dream fight. We've been waiting for this one. So Thailand 5. That's going to be amazing. November 4th. Make sure you're tuned in for that. A lot more coming up. I'm told we're heading to Bulgaria as well. Again, keep tabs on BKFC.com. We are boom, boom, boom all the time. Evan, what show are you most excited for coming up?
Well, something that just popped in my head is if it's the special rules Thai fight, so they're going to be Thai boxing, so kicks, punches.
I don't think there's kicks. I think it's elbows.
There's no kicks?
I don't think so.
There's not. Okay, well, we'll find out more, but there's elbows.
What I think about...
Maybe have here in the comments, are you going to talk about Fames' illegal knockout elbow? I didn't see that. I was in the back, so I don't know what he means by that.
I noticed it. And it wasn't conclusive. I didn't really look at the replay. I saw it live. Mm-hmm. They were kind of in a little of exchange, and then... possibly an elbow could have hit. Maybe it didn't.
How hard it is to not do, if you're swinging nonstop.
Yeah, I don't think it was intentional.
And you got to think, these are.
That's just what they're saying in the chat.
If you glide, if you just kind of miss, the elbow's right behind. I could see how it could easily happen when you're in the fucking trenches right there. You're not going to be like, oh, oops, it's kind of. It may not have been intentional. If it did happen, I think it's just part of. You probably get a lot of forearm hits, I noticed, when you watch it back in slow-mo.
Yeah, and these referees really don't get enough credit because it's so much easier to watch this shit and enforce it with gloves than it is with bare knuckles.
Yeah.
I actually, Dave, I'd like to have at some point, I talked to Andy Glenn, and even in the chat here, some people rip on him. He gets a lot of static for some of his decisions, but he usually gives me reasoning for them. And at some point, I'd like to have Andy on here to kind of explain himself and talk about what it's like to ref. I wouldn't want to ref. Think about it. We get to see things from the best camera angles out there. You see one thing as a ref, and I'm talking about Dan, everybody, not just Andy, and they have to make a decision based off of that quickly in the spur of the moment. So not a job I'd want. I'd actually like to pick the refs' brains just to see what they're thinking when they're in there, because a lot of us watch it, but we've never really...
Yeah, the good thing is we're starting to go into instant replay now with some of these states. I don't know if it's in Florida yet. We used it in Albuquerque. That came over to my monitor, and I think there was a late hit after the canvas. I forget which fight that was, but... we used it there, so you're going to be seeing more of that too.
Is there a replay of this, of the elbow?
I didn't see it.
It's probably going to come up right after this.
See, a lot of things, hitting somebody in the back of the head's illegal, but sometimes, when they're in the pocket, people dip their heads and
people turn around too. That was I forget what fight that was, but one guy was turning around the whole time.
People are coming unglued in the comments here. Mike, Kyle, yes, get Andy on there. Someone else said he awful, Brian. Other people say, what do they call him? Andy Cheatham Glenn. I don't think Andy is out to make people look bad and do the wrong thing. So that's why I'd like to pick his brain, and maybe we'll do that at some point.
I will say this. I don't think anybody cares about their craft more than Andy Glenn. He tries his ass off.
He does. This guy works hard. He cares about bare knuckle. And unfortunately, like I said, I like to hear reasoning on his decisions. So we'll work on getting him in there. And maybe you guys can ask him questions in the chat when we do, and he can kind of shed some light on it. Because whenever I talk to Andy afterwards, I read what you guys are saying. So when I talk to Andy afterwards, he makes it make sense.
All right.
Let's see. This little elbow here might do some damage too.
So he ducked his head at the same time he was throwing that hook. So that's... you think... Really?
I'm saying I think he definitely elbowed him. I just don't.
It almost looks. You see, he said hand.
Looks like he grabbed his hand.
He
Yeah.
grabbed his hand, and the momentum.
Grabbed it.
You see what I mean?
It could have been like a feint. He could have been feinting the right and then throwing a left hook, and then I don't know.
Look, in dealing with Fames and knowing the kind of guy he is, I don't see him throwing an illegal elbow on purpose. I really don't.
That's
perfect position too, because Andy's behind him.
Nah, who knows?
I don't think that was intentional.
No, I don't either.
Wow, Mike said we have a lot of people that love what they do, Dave, but that doesn't mean they're good at it. Ooh, Andy's taking the heat from this chat.
Case in point.
Wow. Yeah. That's right, case in point. You're 100%. That was good, Evan.
Thanks.
Let's look toward really quickly before we get out of here. BKFC 50 in Denver. We talked about it. I'm excited about it. And I know that a lot of you are as well. I can't believe here we are at BKFC 50. And, if we can do the cruiserweight world title with these two, Hunt and Camozzi. Camozzi is a name, in combat sports, but in Denver, he's gigantic. He's huge there. So I think he lives like maybe 15 minutes away from the venue or something like that, from what I've heard. I'm looking forward to this fight. I look forward to any Lorenzo Hunt fight, any Camozzi fight, Chris Camozzi. So that's a great main event to have on top. I don't know where I see it going. I got to look more into this. I got to see what's going back and forth yet. But I can tell you this, women's world champion, the misfit Christine Faria a while ago, she had a prediction about it, and we have that prediction. She said that Camozzi has a very small chance at beating Lorenzo Hunt. I studied him, and he's too slow, reactive, and not great precision. That was her thought of the day. That's from a woman that I respect in fighting, female world champion Christine Misfit Faria. That's what she's saying. What do you think in the chat? Let us know. Who do you think is going to win that? Evan, I'm not going to ask you yet unless you want to comment on it. I think we need to see a little more at the build to the fight. And I like to kind of talk to each guy, and that helps me feel out who I think is going to win.
Well, Lorenzo's a naughty boy. We all know that. He can get in against taller guys, shorter guys. Camozzi is tall. He's well over 6 foot. But you got the only similar body style would have been the guy at Knuckle Mania 1. What the hell was his name? Who he fought?
Morrow?
Yeah, Morrow was taller. Was closer to Camozzi's height, and so was Josh Dyer. So Lorenzo has no problem getting it. Lorenzo has that Tyson-esque. He comes in and ducks his head, and then he gets that overhand right. So he's solved how to get in on taller guys. So there's no issue
And obviously
there.
he's got more heart than anybody in the company.
Yeah. So it's going to be, and all of Camozzi's fights we've seen, I think they've all ended in the first round. So it's going to go into deep water, I think, or we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah, it's definitely something I'm looking forward to as
I don't want to
the
say
fight September 22nd, having both of those guys on here and kind of picking their brains and seeing where they're at. A lot of great points there. Evan, I'm sorry if I've been talking over you. I didn't realize it. I didn't hear you.
Nonstop. It's
really?
So
I can't tell. I can't hear you.
This just in, James sent us his angle of the Fames KO, if you care to see it.
People are saying it was blatant here in the comments.
Well, I want to finish this thought first.
Okay.
Camozzi is preparing for Lorenzo. He's watching. He has all this tape to watch. So I think, is it going to be Lorenzo's hardest test yet? Maybe.
I think so. I do.
All right.
All right, now that we finish the thought. Brandon.
Roll it.
Let me break it again.
Poor guy.
Slow it down. Go frame by frame. Yeah, there you go. So.
It's a brute of this.
He's holding that arm. Jeez,
Good job, Brandon.
He tried to. Can you go clip frame by frame there?
I'll play it off the Dropbox.
Whoa, there you go.
It doesn't really show anything though.
That looks like a side arm.
Yeah.
Up here. That's not like bone. And he was holding the wrist, so he just tried to get it up, and he ducked his head down, so it just kind of but it wasn't, there. It was that.
Well, like I said in the comments,
my official
I know
ruling.
Michael's calling out blatant elbow and stuff like that. But
What does Michael think after that clip? Has he changed his
I
mind?
don't know. It's a little bit of lag time on there, but this was earlier said blatant elbow. I'd like to see what you think, Michael. He said Andy Glenn makes terrible lane movements, guaranteed.
See how his head kind of came in? See, that wasn't even elbow.
Yeah.
That was yeah.
I think it was more so him trying to get in position to throw a left hook.
The ruling stands.
Maybe not.
Wishy-washy, flip-flopping over there.
Yeah.
Well, I think it was good to be able to see all these angles, so we'll always examine them. Seeing if Michael comments before we get out of here for the day, but I am excited, like I said, for BKFC 50 coming up, and I think there's going to be a lot of great fights. Keep up to date on the card, bkfc.com. We love your predictions. Okay, Michael's here. He's weighing in about the famous thing. He said, holds the arm and leads with the elbow. And now Swervo Cruz is saying, makes him want to be a barber. This guy wants to be a bare knuckle boxer. He's a barber now, but he wants to be a bare knuckle boxer. So the guy popped up. But Michael's saying that he holds the arm and leads with the elbow.
Yeah, Mike, I hear you.
Michael, for weighing in on that.
It's hard to see what natural movement there would have been from. What was the intent? I guess I don't see. Like at first, I thought maybe he was trying to feint the right and then come back with the left hook, but he never threw the left hook. He never got in position to throw it.
Somebody get famous in the comments. Anybody got his phone number? Can we call him?
Another Mike here, Mike from Mike and Mish is saying that isn't grabbing / holding the wrist against the rules, though.
I believe it is.
Oh, the plot thickens.
That's a great. Man, we got to have Mike and Mish just be the rules committee. They should be there to
rules that like the Mike Pereira on
they really are, man.
Be like the Mike Pereira on NFL on Fox. You don't know what that is, Brian? Okay.
And the other thing, I didn't hear what you said right away, then it took me a second. The other thing we have to have in the future, and I really mean this, and I didn't tell him I was going to say this, was I didn't realize Dave Jr. was going to be helping steer the ship today, and I appreciate that.
I'm not doing anything. I'm just sitting in the corner.
Oh, right. Well, hey, stay in the corner then. You sound great. You know, one time I want to get you on the show to kind of pick your brain because he's probably going to get embarrassed, but this guy, Dave, behind the scenes, is the backbone. Dave is helping with production, helping with everything, and helping everybody. And he has probably some great stories you could tell for another time, not this time. But I'd love to have you on to kind of talk about the intricacies, and I think people would really like that.
We could talk about that. We can talk about the.
You don't get heard from a lot.
Yeah, we could talk about the helicopters in the Granite Room Mall. Talk about the electronic cigarettes.
Say that. We can still get arrested for that. I don't know if the statute of limitations is done with blowing the helicopters up in the ground.
Brian and I go way back. Back when Brian was a lowly ring announcer back in the wrestling days 20 years ago, I used to be a little kid running up behind him and pulling his ponytail. So we go way back.
I've known Dave for a while, so we love that. Really sounded strange. You shouldn't have said that.
It's fine.
Yeah, man, watch what you say.
Everybody knows I love you.
So it says, someone wrote, it's nice to have all you guys together again. Oh, thanks, Mike, for saying that. We like being together again. Listen, I'm on my vacation. What I want to do one more before I go about being on the boardwalk in a bare knuckle shirt, then I'll let you guys go about your day and I'll go about my day. But I like wearing the bare knuckle stuff on the boardwalk. A lot of people see who stops you kind of thing. I think it's the third year in a row I've been stopped. Evans, the guy I can never remember his name. He owns like one or two shops on the boardwalk here. I think he did some type of filming. When you mentioned this,
oh shit! Yeah, I know him.
But he was standing in the middle of the boardwalk, and I'm walking my family. He stopped me. He's like, "Yo!" And he said what a lot of other people are saying.
Yeah, he owns like a tattoo shop or something.
What is it?
He owns like a tattoo shop. Oh,
yes. He owns one of them. He was standing out front, and he said to me, I think you're talking, so I'm trying to shut up, Evan.
No, I'm trying to remember his name. We're friends on Instagram.
But he's super cool. He said to me, he's like, man, you guys, every year I see you down here for your vacation.
You look older.
What is it?
You look older.
I do. We look a lot older every year. I mean, think about it. In a year's time since I was down here last year, we were talking. Conor McGregor shows up at our shows. We've had some amazing fights. It's cool to kind of level up like that. I told you this. We tried to get Dave Jr. for an interview. We got denied.
No interviews.
Dave. Remember you said nobody asked you?
No.
Now you get every podcast
those guys aren't. Those guys aren't. They're not fair journalists. I don't trust them.
Who's that?
Mike and Mish.
Oh,
I'm just kidding. You don't trust
I love you guys. I'm just kidding.
They're not fair and
balanced. I don't do interviews.
Me either. I don't want to do any. Either.
Yeah.
Not that I would be.
Actually, all jokes aside, Mike and Mish, you're one of my two of my favorite guys. And yeah, your show's great. So appreciate everything you do for the sport.
I caught Dave on
but I'm not coming on your show.
You caught
Dave? Brandon, they're going to clip that and they're going to air that, but you talked over it. That's why I shut up.
Oh, come on.
Go ahead, buddy. What are you saying?
I was saying we actually caught Junior on camera.
Doing what?
Just, I think Lorenzo was dancing and
Brandon, when you're going to
entice you.
Yeah.
Here.
When you're going to talk.
I was gonna dance with him, but I'm not a dancer.
What a smile. You're usually intense at those shows, Dave.
I was pretty chill this weekend, honestly.
Yeah, especially
Thursday night. It was a dress down day. Wore jeans and a hoodie. It was great.
Thursday was kind of relaxed.
Well, look, man, one of the things that you don't get to see out there in viewership land is the crew we have here. And we're like a band. And I'm not going to lie. I mean, we get along. There's other people, it's like any other job. Not everyone always gets along, but we're like a band. We're like a gang of sorts. We will fight for each other and help each other no matter what. I think it's very important, Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, that we help each other along and that we tend to do that. It's pretty cool. Everybody has this common theme to help the sport grow, and we love that you do it as podcasters, as fans, as media, and we appreciate you for that. And if that's it, I mean, does anyone have anything else? Evan, you got a bucked up burp at least for the road?
No, honestly.
No, he's getting ripped now. I wouldn't do it either.
After hearing that, yeah I'm a little bit. I need like.
You can't let them tell you how to do what you want to do. Evan.
There's 25 positive comments about the burp, but the one negative is kind of bringing me down, and I have no urge. I don't feel any.
You're letting them pull the shots.
Well, is coffee really a drink?
Before no man, you said it. You wouldn't even ask your wife's father for her hand in marriage. And
you
now
didn't
you're worried about these guys in the comments?
I didn't ask permission. What am I going to ask permission for?
What a scumbag.
I do what I want.
He didn't even get on his knee for his girl. What a weirdo.
It's a bad way to start the relationship.
Well, we have your wedding coming up, and I'm going. Anyone else going to that wedding?
Why would you put yourself in such a submissive position to start off the relationship, Brian?
I don't know, but I'm going to be at the wedding. I've ordered filet. That's it.
I texted Evan. I said, what is the most expensive meal at the wedding? He said filet. I said, okay, ordering 2.
That's what I did, too.
No, as long as the gift reflects.
You're excited about the big day that's coming up, and we'll probably have some video of drunken people from the...
Do you have a videographer for that?
Embarrassed on the show,
really?
Including me.
No videographer.
I think I might do the
Why
one
not?
on
Let's
the
just
dance
talk
floor.
over Soscia. He won't stop anyway.
Sorry, Soscia, I couldn't hear you.
Dude, I can't see that you're talking. It's the same problem we had before we went on the air where I couldn't hear through that mic. I don't know why, but I hear Dave fine.
I don't know.
Brandon probably broke it. All right, I just got a text from my wife. She's like, are you going to join the family at any point? I've been working for the last 2 days. So, yeah, I'm going to go join my family. And I appreciate you guys, the Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship family, for hanging out with us today. Evan, and I really do mean this, you had a lot of great comments on the show today. I'm sorry if I talk over them, but I can't hear you talking all the time. Dave, thank you for joining in. I know it's not always your favorite thing to do, but I had a fun time. I loved your observations.
Yep.
Brandon, I don't think you broke anything today, so I appreciate you as well.
He had a couple
I'll have you bucked up here with me. I have something in here which I can't talk about. It's making me be silly in a little while, but I'm on vacation. What the hell? So stay there. Stay bucked up and knuckle up live from Wildwood Bare Knuckle Beach House.
Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship presents BKFC 50, Friday, September 22nd. In the main event, Lorenzo the Juggernaut Hunt puts his world title on the line against the undefeated Chris Camozzi. Also, heavyweights collide in the co-main event when heavy hitter Josh Cuddly Bear Copeland knuckles up with former boxing champ Steve Aurelius. Watch history unfold live on the BKFC app. Download it at bkfc.com.